going to start with the most basic fundamental principle for takedowns for MMA, which is our toe on the line drill. Okay, so this is specifically for orthodox fighters. Obviously, if I'm a southpaw, I'm going to keep my toe outside my opponent's lead foot. But for general purposes, we're mostly going to be fighting orthodox versus orthodox. So when that is the case, we want to stay toe on the line. I want to make a line just inside my opponent's lead toe, and that's where I want to be for striking purposes and for my wrestling purposes. Okay, so a couple different things. If I'm standing across here nice and wide to my target when I come through, right, it's much easier for this guy to defend as I get to his hips. Okay, so I want to stay on this line when we're talking about takedowns for MMA. So I throw my lead combination, I change my levels, and I come in. I'm already at that nice angle, okay? Also, shooting wide leaves me open for his rear leg attack. So when I come in here, I'm way in line for that rear knee. He's got a lot of power in that rear knee. I want to try to avoid that. When I come here, if he's going to have to throw a knee, he's going to have to throw it across his body, which is going to be awkward on his hips. It's going to make the takedown actually easier for me. So I'm going to change my level, and I'm going to penetrate. Penetration step comes through. Trailing comes in, and I've already got a nice angle because of where my toe is lined up in relationship to my opponent. So as we move, my opponent moves, I just make sure that when I fire off my attacks, that my toe stays on that line. Okay? Simple, easy principle, but it's these little principles, and the more of them that we follow, the easier it is to get my end result, which is to land my takedown, right? So I want to follow the basic guidelines as we move through this. So now that we have the toe on the line drill covered, we're going to get into a little bit more basics, which is the level change and the rules for level change in MMA. So the MMA level change is a lot different than your level change for pure wrestling or submission grappling, where if we're in our wrestling stances here, I'm going to have to get real low underneath this guy's hands to get to his legs, past those hands. When we talk about the level change for MMA, okay, now my job just got a little bit easier because I don't have to get so low. I got to really get underneath this guy's elbows, okay? So my target is usually going to be from about the hip to the knee, okay? And I find any of these areas acceptable for me to bring my arms on first contact. So when I shoot, I don't want to shoot here. That's super high, right? I'm going to come to his elbows. That's going to be no good. So I want to get my level change down around this low so I can get through to his hips, right? So anywhere from the hip down to the knee is a good target for me, all right? I feel comfortable with that. It brings my success rate up on my takedowns. You see guys shooting a lot of lazy shots, and they just kind of come, right to the top of the hips in a downward angle, okay? So, before we get into that, we're going to talk about the 3 stages to a level change, okay? 3 stages to taking a shot in MMA, right? So we have stance, level change, penetration set, okay? In that order. Where people get jammed up with this is they go from stance and then they mix level change and penetration step at the same time, so they end up doing this, okay? So they end up penetrating and level changing at the same time. The problem with that is I end up off balance, okay? So when I head is over the knee, chest is over the knee, I'm already in bad position. So even if I get to this guy's legs, I'm gonna end up falling to the mat on a knee and getting sprawled on, okay? And that's just gonna put me in more bad positions that I don't wanna work out of. So I make that easy on myself by following my basic rules, right? Stance, level change, penetration, okay? Get in, have good posture when I enter the shot. That makes it much, much easier for me to have success on my actual shot, right? I'm gonna get in there with balance and speed. Okay, so a couple little rules we want to follow on the actual level change, okay? So when we're going from stance to level change, right? I don't want my feet too wide. If my feet are too wide in this angle, I don't get much of a penetration step, okay? The closer my feet are, right, and I don't want to really get any closer than about shoulder width, the more I can get to this guy. So Ben's quite far from me right now. I probably wouldn't shoot this far in an actual fight, but just for demonstration purposes. See my foot's nice and close. I'm here. I can get to Ben from that far away when my feet are about shoulder width, right? That's about where I want to be, okay? So we want to have our feet at a proper width. So from here, I'm going to pull my elbows in, butt goes back in a hinge, chest is up, head is looking forward, okay? I don't want to be looking down. If I look down, I'm going to be off balance when I shoot. Also, if I'm looking down and I shoot forward and he knees, I'm getting knocked out. If my head is up and I shoot, I'm gonna go right through that knee. I'm gonna absorb it with my body. I'll be fine. I'll still finish my takedown. Okay? So again, we're in our stance. We're gonna pull the elbows in, head up, hips, nice and strong, and now I penetrate through. Arms go out to the target, I pull myself in. They don't go out and around. Straight, pull myself through. From here, from here, from here. So now, I can mix the toe on the line drill. Toe staying on the line. What? Penetration, level change. Level change. Level change. Okay? Now if I do it wrong, incorrectly, it's going to look like this. Okay? It's a bit of a dive. It's a bit of a dive and it doesn't look very strong. Right? Way off balance, hips are behind me. I'm not in good position. All right, so we've just gone over toe on the line drill and the fundamental principles to the level change.